What is up, everybody? EE here, still chilling in the studio here at Yahoo Esports, and I am joined by some very special guests to talk to me today about some pretty interesting topics. To my right, the one and only D1 is here, and of course, to my left, Immortals Anti.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, man. We are in here, and we are having a pretty good time. I mean, how have you been enjoying yourself thus far?
I mean, Civil War, I just feel like I'm super excited this weekend.
Yeah.
There's so much to look forward to, right? Not just the fact that this is going to be an event that has so many PGR ranked players coming to Los Angeles, all competing at the esports arena. Also the fact that there's going to be an esports music experience going on there. So like a sick little after party for us from like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. I can't wait to see the musical acts. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, like, the only thing that's not as good is that it's raining this weekend, I believe. So hopefully the party still goes on.
Look, that's where you gotta just pitch the tents, man. I feel like Champ and 2GG, they always have a backup plan.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll be pretty good on that.
But other than that, the event's gonna be good. We have a lot of competition coming in from all across the world. We have Europe, we have US, Mexico. Where else? Well,
Japan.
Oh,
Japan.
That's just Japan is here. It's gonna be a really tough tournament, but I hope we all enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I think enjoying is definitely going to be like even if you are just there as a spectator, and not a competitor, they have so much to offer, right? You can the cosplay contest I think is going to be really cool. So that's something that's pretty unique that we don't see too much at Smash events. But on the more competitive side, obviously you're going to be there, representing Immortals. What are your expectations going into that one?
So I'm kind of like not playing as well right now, but I feel like these events are when I truly come alive. So like, let's say, because like at Genesis, like I wasn't playing well either, but I got 9th. That's almost top 8. But I feel like this time, if I'm playing to my potential, I can easily get top 8. Cause I see my road. I have to fight in pools. I have to fight Gluttony in winners finals or Nico. I could beat both of them, and then Sue Lucario, MKLeo, and then I have to fight the Buzz to get into top 8. All players who I think I could beat. Nobody who's like who's out of my league. So if I'm playing well, I think I can make it far. So hopefully it works out.
Here's one thing that I wanted to ask too, because I remember you put out a tweet talking about changing the way you grip the controller. Is there any insight you want to like give on that? Because that was kind of interesting.
Pretty much like, I used to grip the controller as in a way like my thumbs were like this on the controller, so it's really hard to move like this. But when I put my thumb uppers like that, you can move around like that way easier. So I was paying attention to that because I was like, wait, why am I moving so stiff? Like my back hairs are going out slow, and like my movement like on my control stick was coming out like it's not as fast as it used to be. So I was like, am I getting older or no? I'm only 23.
Look,
so
trust me, man, you're gonna be in the middle one day yourself when you get as old as me.
Right?
Don't want to hang it up.
Yeah, I was looking at my hands and just making sure like I'm in good form, and then like I started playing a little bit better. But I have to remember how to play like that also. So like it's all like training wheels over again. So hopefully it just works out for me again.
Do you feel like for players it's good to kind of reinvent their play style like that? Like, do you think if there is a better and more optimal way to play that you just put the time in?
Yeah, it's like if you play the way you want to play and you perfect your craft the way you want to, then I feel like that's best for you because you know yourself the best. Like you could copy someone else. Like people try to copy Zero's play style and like try to play like him, but you're not Zero in the end of the day. So he's gonna be better than you, and then you're gonna be playing catch up to him. So like if people train to beat him too, so like since you're the knockoff version of him, they're gonna destroy you. That's what I feel like. So just play your own game and perfect what you're good at, and then you'll be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, D1, obviously Anti has the aspirations of making top 8, which is very possible. You yourself, I know you're going to be commentating top 8. What are you looking for out of this event? What do you think are some expectations we can see? Like, who do you think for sure is going to be there?
All right. So as far as the people that are already confirmed to be at the event, there's a lot of representatives from Japan that are coming through, right? Like we know Tsu's going to be in town again, who almost beat Zero at Frostbite. People are trying to see if that ever is going to happen again.
We had a pretty lackluster performance last weekend at Frame Perfect.
Yep, he got blown up by Kashmir's Cap Falcon, and that
got caught outside.
And Dire City.
He definitely. How about that? How about that, man? That's crazy. So yeah, he got lit up, and the funniest thing too was that Champ put out a tweet, and he was like, I wonder if we should seed Kirihara second for. When I saw that, I was like, eyes, eyes emoji all over the place. But yeah, it's gonna be super fun. Like as far as the top 8's concerned, feel like it's very, very scary and hard to guess 100% who's gonna be there because of each pool looking like a mini major, right? That's. I feel like it's any man's game, man. Depending, just like Anti said, right? Depending on how good you're playing that day, you could either be the best player or the worst player in the room. So you just have to make sure they do their best to stay focused, try not to do anything that would lead to, anything outside of the game that would lead to them performing bad when it's game time.
Right. Agreed.
So, 2 players who I feel like have the highest chance of being guaranteed top 8 for this event are, I'm going to say Zero, obviously.
Yeah. If you didn't say Zero, I was about to be like.
Obviously. And my second person, some people might not agree, but I'm going to say the Buzz. Probably like.
The Buzz?
I feel like his bracket's good for him, and he's super consistent at these big tournaments. Like, I feel like he only not got top 8 like 3 times total. Out of Smash Bros. Whole lifespan.
Yeah,
so, like,
he's been a pretty good model of consistency for sure. I mean, and I gotta agree with those picks as well. I think a lot of people though might kind of try and push the Buzz to the side in lieu of Kirihara now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say Kirihara is by any means a one-hit wonder. We know how talented he is. You know what I mean? But let's not forget, who was doing
The original.
Yeah, let's not forget
The original
who was
Rosie.
doing it first there. But while we're on the topic of players and what we expect to see, let's talk about some players that may be a little bit underrated as far as performance goes. For me personally, I think somebody who I think can do a really good job is Nakat. Now I know in the community it's kind of a meme sometimes to like pick on Nakat about how he places and stuff like that. We've all seen the memes, right? But he's a really good guy, a lot of talent, and a lot of people forget this guy's going last hit with Abadango and the Buzz in the not too distant past right there. I mean he's motivated, right? Again, even Void is somebody who he's taken to the limit in a Game 5 situation. I think if Nakat is on his grind, we could see. I'm not going to go as far as top 8, but I think a top 16 placement, which would be really solid for him.
Yeah, realistic.
And you know how angry he is about not being on the PGR
Yeah.
too, so that would be a really kind of a good way to just kind of solidify y'all messed up.
I think he got like 51st at the PG ranking.
he was
And,
messing around.
dude, that was like one of the saddest times for me, man, because I had to like console him. He was, in my DMs, like, "You're doing, man." Like he was like super, super sad. But after our chat, he actually used that to motivate him to want to be even better and like prove to the people like, yeah, whatever. I got a high placing at CEO. Yeah, the brackets probably were in a way where the brackets were actually set up in a way where he could potentially not make it that far, but what happened was there were a lot of upsets that happened in the bracket.
For sure.
And because of that, people discounted him getting far at CEO due to that. And they're like, oh, we're not going to really count the fact that you got so far in that tournament because your road didn't seem as hard. It was projected to be hard, but there were a lot of upsets along the way.
And that's not any fault of his, right?
That's a debatable topic, yeah. So, I'm definitely, I feel that with you, but there are other people that feel like, if you didn't get the W's against the tough ones and you got that far, do we really care if you got top 8 or top 9 even? That's a discussion for another day. That could be like a whole nother episode here on Yahoo.
Oh, well, for you personally, who do you think is another player you think's maybe like a little slept on but shouldn't be?
Zanoto.
Oh, dag.
That's why I looked in his direction.
Oh, dag.
I feel like
Let's
that.
see who places higher. We should place some bet on that. We should be like $20 if I place higher. I'm willing to pay.
He's definitely an amazing player in his own right. I think it was really cool to hear about how, he was really good in Brawl, right, with Diddy.
Yeah.
And then he continued to stay with the character in Smash 4. And I even talked to 00, told me, like, he learned a lot of stuff from Zanoto going into the character Diddy, and he just made the character his own from there. And it was pretty cool seeing him versus Anti in the grand finals at CEO. I was like, oh, look at that, man. We got the brothers up there battling. that was pretty hype.
Only thing missing was February, man. It would have been
It would have been perfect.
perfect event. How about yourself, Anti? Anybody stick out to you?
A player who opened my eyes up this past weekend was actually Elegant, because he's not on the PGR either, but he has a lot of good wins.
I'm glad you brought him
And
up.
plus, he beat me this weekend, past weekend at Rise in Arizona. So
Well, that certainly is a good win.
So we're 1-1 right now, and
Right.
like I'm impressed at his play. So especially with a character like Luigi, who's not that good. Like
Yeah,
tier, so.
definitely, kind of fell out of favor a little bit after the quote-unquote nerf that he received out, not after the down throw, not being able to follow up with the down B reliably. But I feel like he still makes it work. I look at the people he's beaten, like Captain Zach and Salem, and he's a specialist against Bayonetta. And that's a
Como,
character you have to know how to beat. Como, he owns a set victory over him as well. So I think definitely Elegant Matt is somebody to look out for. I think he just got picked up, too, by Beefy Smash Dudes.
I didn't even know they were a team.
That blew my mind as well, right?
Yeah,
So
I just know him for content creation, and then just out of nowhere, they're like, hey, what's up? We have a new player. 2 players, actually. Arvark and Elegant, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
well, they're a good doubles team as well, if I'm not mistaken.
True.
They're seeded in the top 12 for this tournament, Civil War. So pretty happy.
In teams?
In teams, yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty juicy.
Now, if I were to choose somebody that I want to see that's underrated get really far in the bracket, that would be King Venya. You know, he's a Greninja player coming out of
New York City, right? Yeah, I know.
So,
I know.
you know, that's two things already that touch my heart, right? New York City, because I was born in New York, and also the fact that he plays Greninja. And that's my, that's my main.
You are a pretty big Greninja enthusiast, man.
Yeah.
Why don't we ever see D1 on the sticks advancing the metagame? When are you coming back?
Well, one of the reasons for this is because, usually they need me for commentary at events, and also, like, I help out with a lot of Twitch-related stuff behind the scenes at events. So it's very hard for me to have the free time to want to sit down and play, because if I do keep going far and I have a commentary shift, now there's a conflict. It's like, so what are you going to do? You're going to hold up your shift? No, obviously I'm going to hop on the mic.
You don't want to Mewtwo King it. I understand that.
Man.
You want to make the schedule just keep flowing pretty well.
You know how it is, man.
Oh, yeah. I have a pretty good idea. So another thing that I wanted to touch on, Civil War, again, is going to be incredible. But tournaments in general, like going forward after Civil War, do you think that this event kind of like raises the bar a little too high? Because think about it. We have 47 of the PGR 50 are going to be in attendance at this event. Like, that's pretty ridiculous when you think about it. A tournament has never, I don't think, come close to this. What do you think about that going forward after Civil War?
Well, looking at the fact that Civil War is in spring, like spring just started, this could be basically our like spring season, like a big major for spring in particular, right? That everyone is looking forward to. And then for summer, everyone's probably gonna be looking forward to Evo as that big event, especially now that we're in the Mandalay Bay. So that's going to be out of control for a lot of people, because before Melee was up there, and now this year Smash 4 actually got the nod. So
that's incredible, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be nuts. We're gonna have, to be honest, we have a lot of events for Smash 4 this year. We have like all the 2G gaming circuit events. Then we have a whole bunch of these local tournament organizers that are trying to reach out to top players to come to their events. And there's all these people that are trying to set up these invitationals too, for like Melee and Smash 4, etc. So it's to the point where one of these top players is going to get a break.
Right. It almost seems like you think that Civil War, like the impact of it is going to be like, it's just going to be positive.
Yeah.
It's even more hype inducing as we go through the year, because we have a ton of big events. Yourself?
The impact of Civil War for this, like, it's gonna like actually force other TOs to play catch up. I feel like this is like pushing the metagame for TOing. Like, Champ is like, he's flying everyone out. Like, some TOs, they don't want to fly out like 3 players. So, and Champ is willing to fly out the whole PGR. He said, on Zero Saga for the announcement, he was like, if you are on the PGR, contact me and we will get you to Civil War. Anybody. Yeah. So he's willing to fly out 50 players if he had to. So I feel like he's just pushing the bar. He's doing the music festival too. He has a cosplay contest. He closed down the whole street so we could all like have a party. It's 24/7 venue.
Yeah, this is nothing like this before.
Yeah. He's doing too much in a good way. I like it. So I feel like other TOs gonna have to take note of this, and hopefully they can match it or at least put like a little more effort in,
And he pays his commentators, by the way. I just want to throw that. That's important for me to emphasize.
Yeah, we definitely have to thank the fact that they have numerous partnerships too, right? Champ does a really good job of talking to a lot of people that can help offset the costs of running these set events. Because imagine, you can't just be like a guy who puts together this group of enthusiasts that love Smash, and then just like have the money come out of thin air. Obviously you have to be really good at attracting investors. So good job on Champ. We're doing that, partnering with the right people. Esports Arena probably as well, helping with that, with the costs. So moving forward, if tournament organizers could learn how to reach out to investors better. I know back then, with like the old Apex organizers, they would use LinkedIn to talk to people, like, remember Apex used to be, partnered with like PlayAsia and stuff like that, just like a whole bunch of random companies. So, LinkedIn could be a really good resource to help people get connected. Just let them know, hey, running a tournament series, here are the metrics for said tournament. And it would be great if you guys partner with us, because we could give your brand, visibility, and in turn, hopefully they can help them support their event.
There it is. I mean, and that's, all really good points you just outlined. Now, Anti, for you, kind of what D1 said, how Champ approaches it. Do you yourself, you have like kind of a vision on how you think a tournament should be ran?
So I'm kind of like not too picky on how a tournament should be ran. I like how the tournament where like it's held. Like, location is for me. So like, I like tournaments that have like a hotel/venue combo, because I like being able to wake up and just go downstairs and play. Because like, if I have to like take a Uber, like 20-minute Uber, like I kind of throw off my game for like the day because like I have to get ready. Might miss like a pool match or something like that. And they could call me like it's like come down now like I'm like 20 minutes away. But for the tournament format, I like top 32 best of 5 because some people like. I feel like people want like top 96 and like top like. 40.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's a little much for the players to be honest.
Exactly.
I don't know about that one.
Like I like sets that are like all right, best of 3, and then all right now top 32 when this crunch time.
Get into the meat of it.
Yeah. Because like now top 96 feels like all right, top 96 best of 5. It's like kind of takes away the importance of like getting later on in the road like.
You get kind of. I always felt like best of 5s. Kind of for me was kind of like payment too, right? Like you get rewarded for the better that you do. You get more opportunities to advance your gameplay, get a read for your opponent. But if you can't make it to that point, you shouldn't necessarily have it handed to you.
Exactly.
Ooh, Can I add to that? So not only do I agree with just making sure like only top 32s, 3 out of 5, but when it comes to payment too, just one little critique I have with Civil War, I feel if with the payment structure, right, at least pay out to people who made it in top 8 and not have consolation prizes to whoever reached up to like 13th, because I feel like top 8 finals day, you guys made it this far. All right, everyone could get a percentage.
Because it is a competition at the end of the day.
Of course.
Right? We're
not a participation.
This is a Pee-wee league. They hand out a participation trophy.
Thank you for joining.
You all did great. No, like you did great, but that don't mean you get some money. Like, you know what I mean? That's just kind of how it is. But, it's kind of a back and forth thing that people will debate, about how they want to approach it. You want to kind of reward certain levels and stuff. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're still very grateful.
And sometimes it's actually good to pay out like top 16 because like let's say like the invitational tournaments like PAX this past 2 weeks ago, they paid out everybody who participated.
Okay.
7th place got paid, 5th place, 4th place, 3rd place. But like you don't have to get paid like a lot if you get last place. But like I guess like something helps the pockets because this tournament is super hard. So like
it is.
So top 16, they deserve at least something. Like imagine flying from like Japan, you got top 16, you beat like 2 top 10 players, and you don't get paid at all. Like that's hard. That's hard for them.
And no, I'm glad you offered up that perspective because that's kind of like the difference between like how we're seeing it and then from a player's perspective. You actually have to play through the bracket. And again, when you think about it, if at top 96 it starts best of 5s, it's a lot of matches.
It's a long day.
It's a lot of matches to just get a handshake. I understand what you're saying.
Here's a counterpoint that I have to that though. But wouldn't that take away more money from the person that gets like first place after going through all those matches and he realizes the top cut that he gets is smaller because we had to help out the little people, quote unquote. Not actually little people, but you know what I'm saying.
I got you.
But I feel like the person who won, they would also look at it as a way as, oh, that person, I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah.
He made it so far. He beat all these top players, but he just couldn't close it out. He got 9th place. He missed top 8 by 1 spot.
Yeah.
He deserves something. Like when I won CEO, I got a big chunk of the pot. Like I felt as in like I won over like 3 times the amount that Zenora won. He got 2nd.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt bad about that, and I was like, all right, people got 7th, they got like $70. So I was like, all right, I made way too much money. I would have give back some, but I won it. So, but I feel like people who probably won like the tournament were like, all right, so I probably won too much, but
I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that
It's
perspective.
actually not a bad way to rationalize it because you think the guy who won in such a stacked tournament, like he could have ended up in 16th.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like myself. Yeah.
Upsets are going to happen at this tournament. Like nothing is written in stone. That is for sure.
This is going to be a scary tournament for sure. Like this is, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like this is the scariest tournament for you in Smash 4?
The thing is, some people are saying that, but I looked at my bracket, and like, I feel like some brackets I had it before, they were harder than this bracket. So it all depends on who you have to fight. Because sometimes, like, I don't have to fight Larry at all this whole tournament. And like, that's probably a person like, I'm like, shit, I don't want to fight Larry.
That's about as real as it gets. Okay?
I respect that.
He does not enjoy fighting Larry.
Yeah,
Most people don't.
Yeah, so like, when I seen I didn't have to fight him, I was like, okay, I'm cool with my bracket now because I have to fight like Glenny, I beat him before, Sue Lucario. His character's good, but like, I could beat him, and like, depends who you fight. That's what I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. So it's definitely going to be an awesome event, and of course, set up for the future events we're coming for 2017. But speaking of 2017, we had the launch, finally, of the Nintendo Switch. I know you can barely continue. This guy right here, I see your hands move. You want to be playing right now. This guy loves the Switch, and for good reason, man. It's an awesome system. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation on if we're going to get like kind of a re-release or a port over for Smash 4 onto the Switch. Yourself, D1, what are you kind of looking forward to going down the road?
Well, let's see. There was a Redditor that was recently released where they talked about the fact that there were 2 amiibos. Was it 2 or 3 amiibos? There were a couple amiibos that basically did not get released, right? They pushed back Cloud, Corrin, and I think Bayonetta was another one as well. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. But interestingly enough, there was supposed to be another amiibo that's going to be released. This one is unnamed, and this makes a lot of people think, since they checked out there's basically like a code that they have for each of these amiibos that were released, and the code for the Smash amiibo was basically consistent for the Cloud, Corrin, and also I think Bayonetta, and now they're waiting to see what's going on with this 4th character, because the 4th one also has I think it's like AA or AC, something to that nature, and they're speculating that since they're delaying the release of the amiibos, that this might mean that we're gonna get a new character sometime later on, either this year or 2018. If it does happen, I'll be happy because, I feel like I don't want to see a Smash 5 yet. Smash 4 is still something new to us, especially because they kept patching the game so much, So
I agree with that. Those data miners, they are really thorough with that stuff too. So you can bet that if Nintendo's working on something, they're not gonna stop any time before they find it. How about yourself, man? When you think about the possibility of Smash 4 getting ported over, besides just being excited about it, is there anything you would change about Smash 4 in general?
I just want my character back, Snake from Brawl. I feel like that was probably the most fun character for me to use of all time. So I really miss him. I want him back in the game. But other than that, I want to see more characters be added on too. And there's some mechanics of the game that I don't like, but all right, I'll say.
Go ahead,
so
please.
I don't like rage as a mechanic at all because it rewards you for losing, which I don't agree with. If you're the better player, you should win. That's how it should be. And then I want edge guarding back, original. If you grab the ledge first, they can't grab the ledge at all.
Right.
No trumping. That stuff is
I know,
yeah.
dude. I was so confused when they kind of switched things in the direction. And it was kind of cool at first, but then I just realized all these cool setups you see that should definitely kill off. You got somebody off the stage, they're here and then they're here because of the magnet hands.
Magnet hands. They grab it from so far. I'm just they don't deserve that at all. But it's still a good because I guess it helps the casual players they want to be able to come back on the stage and not be edge guarded. So I can see where Cypher was going with that. So I'm not too mad at it, but that's my opinion.
No, that's a fair one. That's absolutely a fair one. I really, besides Smash though, Switch in general has a lot to offer. I myself was playing it on my plane right here. 5-hour flight, seemed like it was an hour. Just passed a lot of time with Zelda or what have you. Do you think, is there anything else besides just Smash that you're looking forward to regarding the Switch?
ARMS is a game that I'm really, really excited to play.
I can't wait to play you in ARMS, just for the record.
I can't play to play either, man. Nairo and I, we've been going at it when we attended the Nintendo Switch preview tour in New York City early January, and that was so much fun, dude. That game we gave the most attention to out of most of the games. First off, the Zelda line was really long, and we know we're both going to get Zelda. We know it's going to be good. The question is, how about all these other games?
Right.
How's the system going to hold up with these other games? And we played Street Fighter. Street Fighter was super fun. It was Ultra Street Fighter 2. A really fun. Violent Ken was kind of ridiculous. He had a command dash, just zipping over, and yeah, it was pretty hype. And Justin Wong put out a bunch of tweets teaching people how to play the character. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, I guess I'll give the game a try. And ARMS was what I really, really played a bunch. Nairo and I kept floating around to other games. We're like, all right, it's cool, whatever. Yo, ARMS though? And
back to ARMS?
Yeah, man. It's pretty fun because what I really liked about the game was the fact that there's multiple stages, there's movement with the characters, and each character has different abilities, right? Some characters have double jumps, some characters could float, some have super armor, and et cetera, et cetera. And you could customize their punches.
Yeah, exactly. You're not limited to just the ones that come up by default. You have some customization you can do there. So that's definitely ARMS is definitely a good selection. How about yourself? I know you're kind of a very selective gamer, if you will.
Yeah,
but
me personally, I'm not buying a Switch until I see Smash in it because that's what I did for the Wii also.
Right.
I didn't buy a Wii U until Smash came out, and then I bought it because I'm not really a true all-around gamer. I play competitive games, and I'm not about that Zelda and like Mario Odyssey. But it looks good. It looks fun though. I might play Mario Odyssey because I know it's cool. Because Mario's in New York. I'm from New York. Shout out to New York. So that seems fun. But what game I'm looking for the most? That Street Fighter game actually looks fun. I want to play that. And some later titles might come out what's the other one? The Xenoblade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, those two games are the ones on my radar for now. But other than that, No, not much really.
Okay, hey, good enough, man. I mean, honesty is the best policy here. You know?
I have to add 2 more things because, I'll be honest, when it comes to indie titles, I usually don't delve too much into it. I'll say Undertale was definitely one of them that stood out to me a lot when I finally decided, okay, maybe I'll give indie titles a chance. 2 games from the Switch that I saw that really, really got me hyped. Pocket Rumble and one more title. I believe it was called Wargroove. Yeah, so first off, the Pocket Rumble game, it's basically a fighting game, right? 2-button fighter. And when I looked at it, it featured a lot of characters from a whole bunch of other games. Like they had somebody from Nidhogg and characters from all sorts of different universes. And I like games like that. Kind of reminds me of Smash.
Yes.
So looking at Wargroove now, this game is a game that's basically like Advance Wars. And Advance Wars is, if you look at Fire Emblem, and it's kind of like the same thing, right? Where you get to click on a character, there's like a grid, and you move strategically around the map. There might be Fog of War. It's a super duper strategic game, if you ask me. If you ever get a chance to play it, I used to play with a bunch of friends in high school, and when I saw Wargroove's trailer, I was like, wow, this reminds me of when I had my Game Boy Advance, and I was with my homies, and we literally linked up our Game Boys, and we just played Advance Wars, and it was lit. Like we were actually super.
Sounds amazing, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, well, you heard it. I mean, right there, man. Check out the games if you get a chance. I know myself personally, we'll be playing a bunch of games together. So I can't wait for that. You can watch.
I'll watch. I'll be on Twitch.
Do you have Fast RMX?
I do not, but I will download it.
You have Bomberman?
Yes.
See me in Bomberman.
I guess that'll wrap things up because we got some games to play. Any shout-outs you guys want to give before we conclude here?
I'd like to give a shout out to my team, Immortals. You guys take care of me, good care of me. I was just at the house just now. It's fun. We ate like a big 3-ounce burger. It was like so big.
Are they hiring? Oh my goodness.
But yeah, they take good care of me, and I love it, man. Shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. And of course, I'd like to give a shout out to Twitch for giving me the opportunity to help foster the growth of the Smash Brothers community with their resources. So big shout out to y'all,
Drink
man.
your Twitch water.
Thank you, Twitch.
Product placement, too good. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. It's been an absolute pleasure. My first time. Hopefully it won't be my last. I've had a blast. Anti-D1, thank you guys for joining me and giving some input. Just having a lot of fun. I know the fans out there are going to enjoy it. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Take care.